Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to go down memory lane with the top 10 best songs of 1969. Now, I feel like I'm going to be saying the word nice a lot in this video, but all jokes aside, 1969 is one of the most significant years in music. You know, the United States landed a man on the moon. This was the year Woodstock had its festival, psychedelic soul was at its peak, Motown was still Motown. Brace yourselves, a lot of their stuff is going to make this list. Rock was evolving, but most importantly, this was the year the greatest entertainer of all time made his debut in Michael Jackson with the Jacksons. Granted, most of their stuff will land in the 1970 year-end list. But on a personal note, if it wasn't for the year 1969, I probably would not be here. That was the year my mother was born. Same rule applies. You must make the year-end list for said year. Nothing more, nothing less. So without further ado, instead of calling this the top 10 best songs of 1969, how about we call it the top 10 nicest songs of 1969. Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Number 10. Kicking off this list, let's start off with Bob Dylan.
Lay, lady, lay across my big breast.
Fun story on how I discovered this song. I was 13 and on YouTube there was a video of a football player named Albert Hainsworth, and it showed him giving 100 million reasons why he shouldn't chase Michael Vick. And that video is still on YouTube and this song was in the background. But the song itself, the lyrics implies that it's a romantic and sexual anticipation and he wants his lover to spend time with him. And while I might not know much about Bob Dylan himself, as most of his music is not my thing, it's a gentle, low-key cut that I feel like deserves a little more attention. I'll take it. Number 9. Here's the first of many songs coming from the Motown label.
This is how I feel.
A brief backstory on the originals. They were on Motown for a while and they contribute background vocals for both Ruffin Brothers' big hits and more importantly Marvin Gaye's solo works. But like most Motown groups, their early material didn't get any love until Marvin Gaye wrote this song for the group, and it's a quiet, beautiful ballad, self-explanatory. But I feel like the original, no pun intended, tends to get overshadowed mostly because the After 7 cover, which is good but not my go-to. And did you know that the originals covered this song back in 1982 and it was actually pretty bad? So just stick to the original, again, no pun intended. It's an underrated slice of Motown, and if you haven't heard it, go seek it out. You won't regret it. Number 8. I'll say this, gospel songs on the charts are extremely rare. People love the influences they bring, especially towards soul music, and these days, we got 2 Christian contemporary songs on the Hot 100 right now, and I'm not crazy about either one of them. But with that being said, I think they need to pay some dues to this song.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
It's crazy to think that this song reached number 4 on the Hot 100. A gospel song sung at every single black church reached the top 10. I just find that insane to think about. And this is a song of the summer of 1969 on the same chart where Helter Skelter was on. And I know churches were looking at this song very weirdly that this made the mainstream given how secular music was looked at the time. But this song has a bit of a weird backstory. It was a hymn that was passed down as early as the 1700s, but Edwin Hawkins, who's not leading the song, rewrote some of the words, and he did so on his hand. Now if you're looking for the content, just look at the first 3 lines. Oh happy day, when Jesus washed, he washed my sins away. I love how the song builds as it starts off very mellow, but when a choir comes in, they take the song to another level. And I know, my generation know this song from Sister Acts 2, with the lead being sung by Ryan Toby from City High. And I know gospel music isn't normally my thing, but I feel like it's an important moment for Billboard. Go back and listen and revisit its cultural significance. Number 7. from two of the biggest acts on Motown. Surprised that this was the only duet from these two that became major. For the Supremes, they didn't have any lead-off singles that made the 69 year-end list, as Berry Gordy was already plotting Diana Ross's eventual exit from the Supremes, and that will come to fruition the next year. For the Temptations, David Ruffin already was fired and was already shifting towards psychedelic soul, so they were in the midst of evolving. More of them later on this list. And this song was originally sung by Dee Dee Warwick, the younger sister of Diane Warwick, which I did not know at the time. Obviously, the song was rewritten so this could be a duet, and they eventually knock it out the park on how they don't want to waste their time as they long to be with each other, even if Eddie was willing to do wrong to be with this woman. For Diana, she kind of comes off as a drug. She used every trick in the book to get you hooked, and I think Otis' spoken interlude definitely hints to that addiction. And it may not be the most iconic songs from either group's catalog, but it's another slice of the Motown pie that I'll take. Number 6. What is this, Motown Hour? A lot of you recognize the name Junior Walker from the songs Shotgun and Roadrunner. And while I think both songs are classic, nothing can match What Does It Takes in my opinion. Lyrics, they might be the most simple on the list, but let's be real, no one cares about Junior Walker's lyrics. They care about his killer saxophone solo blending beautifully with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. You could tell by this time, Motown's budget was budgeting. With all that being said, this was another song that often gets lost in the Motown shuffle, as it shouldn't. If you want something easy and pure on the ears, go to this. Number 5. The year prior was one of the worst years in general. Most of it had to do with the assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy, and fighting a war that the Americans weren't going to win. And this song was definitely needed after 1968. Of course, Sly Stone was going to make this list. None of this had to do with his recent passing. This song was needed at the time because the world was trending downwards. And this was Sly's call to action, and it's him preaching that we're all the same regardless of what race, social class, height, overweight, underweight you might be. And I know a lot of my generation was familiar with the Arrested Development interpolation, which was okay, didn't mind it. But you need to appreciate this version. One of the most important songs of all time. Rest in peace, Sly Stone. Number 4. In my YouTube 2024 year-end wrap-up, this song wound up being one of my most played, and I honestly don't have an explanation for it.
Sugar, oh honey, honey.
This was the number 1 song of '69 from a band that was fictional. They were deprived from the Archie's comic and eventually got picked up for a Hanna-Barbera cartoon show that didn't really last long. And this song was released after that show ended, and despite ending, they still wanted the band to do music, and it was a great decision that they did. For one, this was a pioneering song for bubblegum pop, which was pop that was targeted to a younger demographic. A song where the content is too sugary enough for me to care, but I couldn't help how fun this song feels. And while bubblegum pop may not be for everyone, it is for me. How sweet it is. Number 3. Here's the mandatory Beatles pick.
Come together right now.
Listen, if I didn't put the Beatles on this list, I would have wound up being taken to a dark alley with no cameras around and beaten to a pulp. But it's not like I chose this song because a certain entertainer covered this to showcase his ownership of their catalog. But Come Together is a legit great, if not important song, as this was John Lennon's baby through and through, as this was his call to action against the Vietnam War. Sure, many have covered this song, but no one could replicate what John Lennon came up with. Overall, it's a timeless classic. Number 2. Easy song to put here. I mean, it's Stevie Wonder. Can't go wrong. And while this might not be my favorite Stevie Wonder song, but man, this sounds so pure. Stevie wrote and recorded this over a love encounter at his school for the blind. Motown saw potential in this, but they felt like Stevie needed some development and refinement. The year he released it, Motown still didn't believe in the song, as it was originally a B-side towards I Don't Know Why, which was a good song that his cousin sang better, but the public responded to the B-side of My Sherry Amore so much, Motown finally re-released it with the songs just switching sides. And I'm glad Motown did, because this just sounds great coming from a Motown standpoint. Shocker. Great slice of Stevie Wonder before getting full creative control of the 70s. Classic all around, but somehow not my number one. Before I veil my top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do.
Sure, the Isley Brothers had many hits beforehand, but I think this was the start of their transition that would lead them to a superior 70s run.
My whole world ended the moment you left me.
After getting removed from The Temptation, Ruffin's solo career got off to a promising start with this, a forgotten and underrated gem. Overplay is the reason why this isn't on the list. Seriously, white people, it's this and Don't Stop Believing with you guys. But I can't knock its timelessness, and that's why it's here. A lot of you are shocked that this didn't make the list proper, as many people call this one of the greatest songs ever made. And while it's a good song, I kind of preferred his duets in future works, but it was a great blueprint on what's yet to come.
Next to you, next to you, next to you. I just can't get next to you.
Some of the metaphors used in this song were kind of weird, but the soul, funk, charisma the Temptations give was more than enough for me to give it an honorable mention. Before we continue, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. And now, let's continue with the video. Number 1. At the end of the day, my number 1 pick was an obvious choice, and you could thank the Summer of Soul for this.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Let me mention my generation know this song for being featured in the Recess School's Out, a movie that should have been the proper finale for said show, but revisiting this song, I knew this had to be my choice for number 1. The vocals, production, the shift to Let the Sunshine In is just perfection. Who knew astrology signs could work in a pop tune? And while I could dive into those meanings, I'm not an expert in astrology, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Oh, and one more thing. Every song on this list, honorable mention and all, have been covered by someone at some point, but I couldn't find anyone that dared touch this song. If so, let me know in the comments, because if they did, they would have been mobbed and their career would have sunk into quicksand. But Aquarius is an important song of 69, easily enjoyable, and not only the best song of 69, but one of the best songs ever made. So with that being said, Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In by The Fifth Dimension is easily the best song of 1969. Nice. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What is your favorite song to come from this year? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.